Hey, hashtag single moms level up. So found a way to get my phone to sit up here with me while I'm eating lunch. And it's a late lunch. But I know y'all saw that video of me talking about how, you either crash out or you just swerve a little bit. Um, I had some time this past weekend uh, to sit in what happened, how all that came about, and how I need to change some things. Oh my gosh, a piece of cilantro on the back of my throat. Some things that I need to change. So for me, being a single mom, what I found that works for me is to journal. And not just, write everything down, not just randomly write all that stuff. That's a part of it too. But I've learned to journal in a way that puts me in a mindset to list some goals out, list the benefits of those goals and the courses of actions that I will do in order to meet these goals. Plus, in between or after I list all those things, in the front of the journal, through the 5 areas of my life, and then I just journal. And as I journal, before I start journaling again for another day, I read what I put in the day before, so I can see where God helped me and guided me and led me into different directions, and also see where I went wrong and I swerved off in another direction when he told me to go left and I went right, that type thing. It still happens. And that's a part of life and a part of us being human. But the fact that you come back to God is the most important part, and get back on track, and he puts you right back in line for what he has for you. So I just wanted to share that's how I get back on track when I have one of those moments where I'm crashing out or swerving, or just having that time where I'm realizing I'm not taking care of me. So part of what I did earlier this week, today's Wednesday. So what I did earlier this week on Monday, which is my general off day, I actually went and took care of myself. And so I've put into practice to go and see a chiropractor. That came about from having a few accidents since I've been in Texas. And I think I've been in 4 accidents since I've been in Texas. And that's the most accidents I've ever been in before, especially in such a short period of time. But these accidents, I got injured in all 4 of them. The other accidents, I didn't get injured, they were minor collisions or whatever. But for me, a chiropractor is part of my health now. That's something that I do when I feel like my body is off, and my body's been feeling off for a few weeks now. And I know that I felt it, and I don't know if it happened at that time, but I felt it when I was playing with my grandkids, and one of my grandkids was like bouncing on my hip, basically, and I felt like my hip was like out of place, but wasn't sure, but it felt like it was out of place. But I let it go for a couple weeks before I even went to go check it. I just thought it would go back because back in the day we used to call this double jointed, but I think the medical term, it's not a medical term, but the medical field calls it like loose joints. I can function with my joints being out of place. I think a lot of people can, but I can function. Yes, I'm uncomfortable, but I got a high pain tolerance, so I just worked through it. So that's what I was doing. But it got to a point where I was like, wait a minute. That's when I was saying my blood pressure was going up. My body was trying to tell me something was wrong. And I didn't take it into account until like weeks later. It was like, wait, something's not right. And so I went to the chiropractor, and I've been going to this chiropractor pretty much almost ever since I've been here, because after the first year that I was here, I was in a car accident, and that's how I got introduced to my chiropractor that I go to. And I never been a person to go to a chiropractor because I was always so afraid that somebody was gonna, break my neck or make me paralyzed or whatever else, all that stuff that you get those things that you're afraid of, the unknown, not knowing for sure, and just the horror stories that you hear. But he's a very good chiropractor. He does very good work. And let me just tell you this: if the chiropractor does not do a whole body exam and doesn't take some x-rays or something when something is off after being seen by them for the first time, something's wrong. Don't do it. Don't do it. You need to go. You need to go. If they just come in and just start clack, 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 they don't know what they doing. That's how you get hurt. The chiropractor I see is a sports medicine spinal doctor, a chiropractor. He does sports medicine. So he actually works with, the Rockets. He works with some of the guys on the Texans football team. He works with a lot of athletes. So didn't know that when I was seeing him, but that's what he does. So he's really good at what he does. So anyway, I went there and I ended up telling him, because I've known him. That's my sinuses, and I was just about to say that. Since I've known him for so long, I told him about, hey, he's like, how are you doing? I said, I'm having some issues with my sinuses. They're clogging up and everything, and told him about my hip, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's my hip is out of place or it's affecting my knee, my ankle. Something is going on over here. So he addressed all of that. He actually loosened my sinuses, did some pressure points, hit some pressure points up here, and some pressure points in my nose and under my eyes and stuff, and then hit some pressure points in the back. Then he adjusted me, and then he did notice that that my hip was out, and so he reset my hip. Man, I felt good coming out of there. But just know this: when you get all that stuff reset, you can't just go back into what you were doing. You need to give your body a minute to adjust to that. It's been out of place or been out of adjustment for however long, and your body needs a minute to adjust for that. So I usually do this on my day off, but it ended up that day, Monday, I ended up doing a lot of running around and probably only got maybe about an hour to just relax before I went and picked up my grandkids from daycare. And that wasn't really good because I started feeling it a little bit the next day because I didn't take the time out for myself to relax. And usually I take about 2 hours to just chill. And for me to be still for that long, I put on a movie. And lately, I don't know, the past, maybe 5 to 7 years, I go to sleep on movies, especially at home. I don't do it in a movie theater. I can, because all the sound and the noise and the Dolby and whatever going on. But at home, if I want to go to sleep, I put a movie on. I'm not going to make it through it. So, anyway. But yeah, my whole point in saying this, single moms, is this. We tend to forget about ourselves. Don't do that. Especially this season. Don't do that. I'm starting this thing where I am setting up to make my my journal, for next year. And so I'm going to take this week to set up for all of my personal stuff. And I mean me personally, not my kids. Me personally. What are my goals, and what are the benefits of me reaching these goals, and how am I going to get there? If you go back to some of my videos, you'll see that I had some sheets that I put out where you check on yourself once a week. You can check on yourself daily. I've gone from checking on myself once a year to once a month to now I'm doing it on a weekly basis. And I even put it on my phone, on my calendar, like I have all my other stuff on the calendar. on my phone. So I check in with me, on a weekly basis. And really, I really need to check in with myself. And I haven't been doing that for the past month or so. So that's where a lot of this crash out stuff came from, is because I stopped checking in with myself. So just wanted to pop in and give you that little tidbit there, that this week I'm making some personal goals for me and myself personally. Some goals that I'd like to reach, and they're not financial. They are not. They're not financial. They're not relational. They are not physical. They are goals that I would like to reach. Some personal goals. Basically, more so on my emotional level. It's not spiritual either. These are personal things I want to do. And I'm putting these boundaries and guidelines around it because the other areas of my life are part of those. So those 5 areas that I'm talking about are personal, spiritual, physical, relational, and financial. Those are the 5 areas. So we can't touch those other areas when we're talking about personal. Personal means personal, just between you and you yourself and you. Some goals that you want to do to personally enhance and enrich your own life, and do some things differently, or continue doing some things the way that you've been doing them. So I just wanted to pop in and share that revelation that I had there. I need to finish my lunch and blow my nose, because with him releasing my sinuses and stuff, now it's really loose, and I gotta get it out of my nose, but it's a little too much information, so sorry. But much love. #SingleMomsLevelUp. Till next time. Bye.